Crisis point. The global chip shortage hitting Detroit hard.
We thought COVID would be a challenge, but this is a hell of a follow-up.
Production paralyzed. Automakers forced to make some desperate moves, but the scope of the problem far beyond the industry.
Tonight, we are going in depth. The impact on your life that may surprise you. And
maybe it'll make us start manufacturing stuff in America again.
The new questions now being raised in the wake of this global economic emergency.
Thank you for joining us for Action News at 6. I'm Carolyn Clifford.
And I'm Dave LEWALLEN. Detroit automakers facing fallout daily from this crisis. Take a look. Chopper 7 flying over dozens of rows of Ford pickup trucks sitting idle outside of Ford's Flat Rock assembly plant. The company confirming today these vehicles cannot be shipped because of the chip shortage.
What a sight. Meantime, Stellantis also confirmed today that it is extending downtime for its Jeep Cherokee and Chrysler minivan plants in Belvidere and Windsor because of the chip shortage. So, how do all the puzzle pieces fit together, ultimately creating the mess we see now?
Let's take a deeper dive into how we got here. What are semiconductor chips? Well, they operate like brains inside everything from vehicles to smartphones, computers, appliances, electronics, and so much more.
why is there a chip shortage? It started with the pandemic. COVID-19 last year shut down plants overseas that make them. As supply was cut off, demand for laptops rose as businesses and schools went virtual.
Compounding that problem, the trade war with China. The Trump administration's sanctions included companies that make the chips.
Then in February, that winter storm that paralyzed Texas temporarily shut down chip makers in the state. Just a month later, a fire at a major chip manufacturer in Japan set production back by months.
So why don't we just make more semiconductor chips in the U.S.? First, they are extremely difficult to make. They require huge plants with extremely expensive machinery and a highly trained workforce. On top of that, chips take a long time to make.
Tonight, 7 is going in depth to look at the trickle-down effect from the automakers and suppliers to workers, dealers, and so many of the items you buy every day.
7 Action News reporter Jim Kirchner is live to show you the deep impact.
This is going to cost auto workers billions. They're not telling us exactly how many units they're losing or that they're having delay, but I can tell you from the shop floor assembly line to the showroom floors out here at dealers, everyone is adjusting.
It's just, chip by chip working the issues to find solutions.
This look from Chopper 7 says it all. This is build shy, the term in the industry, building autos to the point where they need chips. Set them aside until the chips come in, then they can be finished off. This lot in Downriver Flat Rock is holding hot-selling Ford pickups and SUVs. The other big way to cope is shut down production, on a temporary or rolling basis, happening with all the car makers in several states. It's going to continue for weeks.
We have said we think Q2 will be the weakest, and then we see recovery coming in Q3 and Q4, and that's based on all the work the team is doing, working with suppliers.
We thought COVID would be a challenge, but this is a hell of a follow-up.
The new business climate is good and bad out where the rubber meets the road, where the cars are sold. First, the bad news, the shortage.
Our supply is down 50 to 60%.
That much.
Yeah.
The hot-selling pickups and SUVs go first. People are settling for what's available. That's the good news. The other option is buy used. This market is even hotter. The reduced supply has driven prices higher than they've been in decades. Get this, in the wholesale market, auto auctions, the prices are even too high for dealers to get the stock for their own lot.
We don't have a large selection there because my partner and general manager doesn't want to pay the prices for it.
The discussion turns to the shortage of chips and why much of that production was moved overseas years ago for cheaper labor.
Maybe it'll make us start manufacturing stuff in America again, so that could be a good thing.
Now, I talked this afternoon with Bill Golling. He has 7 car stores, including a big Chrysler dealership in Oakland County. He tells me normally he'll have about 1,200 units, new cars available on his lot. Today he looked it up, only 246. He does offer one piece of advice: people who order a new car through a dealer rather than wait on dealer stock to come in, they'll get their car faster. Now let's talk about ripple effects as well. I also spoke with the Original Equipment Suppliers Association. They tell me they have 500 members, 70% of them are here in Metro Detroit. They say members are impacted, but also they don't want to give us specific numbers. At assembly plants, the companies, the auto workers, they're laying off some employees for weeks. Ford extending shutdowns at several plants, including the Wayne Assembly for 2 weeks. That's starting on May the 17th. That plant makes the new anticipated Bronco, but it's still on track to roll out this summer. UAW members, by the way, get about 80% of pay while they're laid off at the auto plants during this. The chip shortage also affecting consumer goods. And as we found out today, as soon as new products hit the stores, they are out the door.
Nothing sits. They fly out. It's almost like the public gets a whim of what we do get, and then they fly in and take it, which we're not mad about by any means.
The Sargent Appliance Store on Hall Road in Macomb Township looks well stocked. The smart appliances with the chips are in short supply. That includes microwave ovens, ranges, washing machines, dishwashers. Customers are often left with waiting for months or giving in.
Again, going back to that whole settling factor. You know, we're having to settle with things we wouldn't have normally settled with.
During the year of COVID, people are spending more time at home. They're looking to remodel and upgrade. They hear there's a shortage. Here in the store, it's real.
One of the shocking things was, pretty much any appliance we were looking at, refrigerator, range, dishwasher, it's going to be anywhere from 2 months to even 4 months for some of the different manufacturers.
With supply low and demand high, the cost of materials, the cost of transportation going up, there's more sticker shock.
So the frustration is not only shelling out the money to pay for expensive appliances, but also now waiting for your Christmas present.
Yes, the chip shortage is having the same effect on all consumer goods, including video games, computers, smartphones, video doorbells, you name it. Again, there's that settling factor. People are buying what's available.
So that's why I decided to just go ahead and order and pick it up, because I was trying to be proactive as far as that is concerned.
So it's a new way of doing business for all of us, even changing the way we think when we come out and do the shopping. And Dave and Carolyn, this is going to stick around for several more weeks.
Yeah.
Back to you.
A lot of pain going around. Thank you so much, Jim, for the live report.
Need to bring more manufacturing back to the U.S.? Clearly, but that's going to take time. For more on this trickle-down impact of the chip shortage and how it could impact the Motor City long-term, head to our website, WXYZ.com. We have more information there.